Speak Up, your daily guide to English fluency. Introduction. You know English, right? You can read books, watch movies, and understand when people talk about hard things. Maybe you even think in English sometimes. But when it's your turn to talk, something stops you. Words get stuck, or they don't sound right. Maybe you go quiet or your thoughts get mixed up and you can't make a clear sentence. If this sounds like you know you're not alone. Many people feel this way when learning English. It can be hard, and you might wonder if you'll ever speak well. It's like having a big, nice library with many great books. You can walk around, pick up any book, read it, and understand it all. This is how you understand English. Now, imagine you need to build a house using what you learned from those books. This is speaking English. It's a different skill. You have the knowledge, but you need to practice putting it all together, fast and smooth out loud. This difference between knowing and doing is common. It's not about being less smart or not knowing enough words. It's about your mouth muscles, how your brain links ideas, and how brave you feel to speak. Sometimes, being afraid to make a mistake, sound silly, or not be understood can be a big wall. But here's a good and hopeful truth. This wall can be broken. There's a strong, simple way to unlock your ability to speak English well. That way is practicing every day, without stopping. This doesn't mean you need to study for many hours each day. It means doing small things often, every single day. Think about building strong muscles. If you go to the gym only once a month, you won't see much change. But if you do a few simple exercises every day, even for a short time, your muscles will get stronger. Your English speaking works the same way. And the best part is, this practice can be fun and not hard. We will find good ways that make your daily practice enjoyable, useful, and truly good for you. These are the tools that will help you go from just understanding English to actually speaking it. The main idea of this guide is speaking practice. This is not just about talking. It's about using your voice and your mind in a focused way to get better at speaking English. Knowing grammar and having many words are important, like ingredients for a meal. Speaking practice is like cooking that meal, using those ingredients to make something tasty. We will focus on doing. We will focus on actively speaking English every day. This practice will be different in many ways. We will learn how to copy the sounds and rhythm of people who speak English as their first language, how to use helpful tools like AI to practice talking, and how to use special methods made to help you speak longer and easier. In this book, you will find 7 good ways to practice speaking. We will see how to copy native speakers to get your sounds and rhythm right. This is called shadowing. We'll look at how to use smart AI tools that can give you quick advice and let you have practice talks. You'll learn about the 4-3-2 method, a clear way to build your speaking strength and confidence. And yes, we'll even talk about how talking to yourself can be a strong practice tool. Each of these methods is made to fit into your day, so becoming fluent feels like a natural result of your steady work. Our journey together will be encouraging, useful, and made to make your path to speaking English with confidence a happy and successful one. Are you ready to go past just understanding English and start speaking it with happiness and confidence? Let's start this exciting journey together. Your daily path to speaking English well starts now. Let's speak up. 1. Learning to speak English better. It is strange, is it not? You can read a book and know every word. You can watch a film and follow the story well. You know the rules of how to make sentences. You have many words in your mind. But when it is your turn to talk, the words do not come. Or they come out slow with many stops, and you do not feel sure of yourself. Many people learning English feel this way. It is like having a big library in your head, but the person who finds books cannot find the right one when you ask. This feeling, this space between knowing and talking, is very common. It does not mean you are not smart or not good at English. It means talking is a different kind of skill. Think about learning to ride a bike. You can watch someone ride a bike many times. You can know how they keep their balance and move their legs. But until you get on the bike and try, you cannot ride. Your mind and your body must learn to do it together. Talking English is like that. Knowing English is like having a map. You can see all the roads, the towns, and the places. You know where things are. But talking is like driving a car on those roads. You must know how to turn the wheel, how to use the gas and the brakes, and how to go around bends. It is something you do. You do not just get ideas, you make them. You take the words and rules you know and make them come out of your mouth so others can understand. This needs practice. This needs doing. Many people spend much time listening to English or reading English. This is very important, of course. It makes your knowledge grow. It helps you hear how words sound and how sentences are made in a natural way. But if you want to talk English well and with confidence, you must spend a good amount of time actually talking. This is where talking practice comes in. Talking practice means you try to use English with your mouth often and with effort. It is not just about knowing words. It is about making sentences, sharing your thoughts, and letting others know your ideas. It is the bridge that joins what you know in your head to what you can say out loud. It is the work you do to use English by talking every day. Why is this active practice so important? Because when you talk, your mind must do many things at the same time. 1. Think of the idea you want to share. 2. Find the right words from your memory. 3. Put those words in the right order to make a sentence. 4. Say the words clearly so others can hear. 5. Join sentences well to make a smooth talk. All of this must happen very, very fast. If you only listen or read, your mind does not get much practice doing all these steps together. When you try to talk, it is like asking your mind to run a race without any training. It feels hard, makes you tired, and you might not go far. But here is the good news. Your mind is amazing. It can learn and change. When you do talking practice, you are training your mind and your mouth. You are building those links. You are making it easier and faster for your mind to find the words and rules it needs. You are teaching your mouth the right moves to make those English sounds. Think about Maya. Maya liked watching English TV shows. She could understand most of what happened, even the funny parts. She also read English books and articles. She knew many words. But when her friend who spoke English, Sarah, visited, Mia found it hard. She would stop for a long time before answering simple questions. She felt shy, worried she would make a mistake. She knew the words, but they felt stuck. One evening, after Sarah left, Mia felt upset. I understand so much, she thought. Why can't I just say it? This upset is a moment of change for many learners. It is when they see that knowing is just the first step. The real goal for most people is to talk to others, to connect, to show what they think, and that needs talking. Maya decided she needed to do more than just listen and read. She needed to practice talking. The way to get better is not just doing practice, but how you practice. And the most important thing in any practice is doing it often. Imagine trying to make your body strong. Going to the gym one time a month for 3 hours will not help much. But going for 30 minutes every day? That is how you build real strength. The same is true for talking English. Short, regular practice times are much better than long times that happen rarely. Why does this regular, daily work help so much? It builds speed. When you talk English every day, even for a few minutes, you keep the language awake in your mind. It is easier to start again from where you stopped. It makes habits. Daily practice makes talking a normal part of your day, like washing your teeth. It becomes less of a hard job and more of a normal thing. It makes learning stronger. Each time you talk, you use and make stronger the words and rules you have learned. This helps them move from what you know, but do not use what you understand to what you can use. It builds confidence slowly. Small wins every day add up. Each time you can say what you mean, even with a few mistakes, you get a little more sure of yourself. This makes it easier to try again the next day. It trains your mind to be fast. The more you practice finding words and making sentences fast, the faster your mind gets at it. This is the key to talking smoothly. So, the challenge of talking English, even when you know it well, is real, but it is a challenge you can beat. It is not about having a special talent for languages. It is about knowing that talking is a skill, and like any skill, it needs work that is focused and active. The good news is that there are many good ways to do this practice. You do not need to be in a country where English is spoken or have a teacher all the time. There are ways you can use right where you are, every day, to start closing that gap. We have talked about why knowing is not the same as talking, and why talking is a skill that needs practice. We have seen how regular, daily work is the secret to making real steps forward. Now that we understand the common problems and the need for active practice, it is time to look at the specific, good ways that will make your spoken English much better. In the next parts, we will look at proven methods, starting with one of the best ways to talk smoothly, learning to copy native speakers. 2. Tips for practicing English speaking. Sometimes, you know all the words. You can read a book, understand a movie, and follow a talk with friends. But when it's your turn to speak, your mind feels empty. It's like having a nice song in your head but not being able to sing it. This happens to many people learning English. The good news is there is a clear way to fix this. It's not about learning new words. It's about using the words you already know. This is called speaking practice. It means trying to use English out loud, often. It's more than just understanding. It's about making sentences, sharing your thoughts, and talking with others. Doing this practice every day helps you go from knowing English to speaking English with confidence. Let's look at some easy, strong ways to do this. Shadowing. Copy to get better. Think of a musician learning a new song. They don't just read the music. They listen to the song many times, trying to copy the singer's voice, their speed, and the feeling they put into it. Shadowing is just like that, but for speaking English. What is shadowing? Shadowing means listening to someone speak English and then saying what they said right away. You try to copy their sounds, their speed, and how their voice goes up and down. It's like you are a shadow following the speaker. Why is shadowing very good? It's a great way to train your mouth muscles. When you speak English, your tongue, lips, and jaw move in special ways. Shadowing helps these muscles get used to those movements. It also helps your ears hear the small details of English sounds and how words go together naturally. You start to sound more like someone who grew up speaking English, without thinking too hard about rules. It helps you feel the rhythm of the language. How can you start shadowing? You don't need special things. You can use anything with spoken English. Podcasts are good because many are made for people learning and they speak clearly and a bit slower. Audiobooks or even parts of movies you like can also work. Here is an easy way to start. 1. Pick something short. Choose 1 or 2 sentences from your audio. 2. Listen and repeat. Play the sentence, then stop and say it out loud, trying to sound just like the speaker. 3. Listen again and repeat. Do this a few times. 4. Try without stopping. Play a short part and try to speak along while the speaker is talking. Don't worry if you can't keep up at first. Just try your best. 5. Slowly do more. As you feel more comfortable, try longer sentences or parts. The main thing is to focus on how they say it, the tone of their voice, where they put the stress on words, and how they connect words. Our podcast, with its careful and clear speaking, is a perfect place to start practicing this. AI tools, your own practice helper. Technology has given us new ways to practice. AI artificial intelligence tools can be like having an English teacher with you all the time, anywhere. What are AI tools for speaking? These are computer programs or apps that can listen to you speak and tell you how you did. Some can check your pronunciation, telling you if you say a word right. Others can help with your grammar or even have talks with you. Think of them as smart helpers for your speaking practice. Why are AI tools so helpful? One of the biggest good things is that you can practice without feeling shy or worried about making mistakes in front of others. AI tools give you feedback right away. This means you know immediately if you need to change how you say something or if a sentence doesn't sound right. They can also give you special exercises. If you have trouble with a certain sound, an AI tool can give you more practice on that sound. This makes your practice time very useful. They are always patient and ready to help. How can you use AI tools best? There are many kinds of AI tools. Some are simple ways to check pronunciation. You say a word, and it tells you how close you were to the correct sound. Others are smarter and can help you with whole sentences or even talks. Here are some ideas. Pronunciation apps. Use these to practice hard sounds or words. Say the word, see your score, and try again until you get it right. Speech coaches. Some apps can look at how you speak and give you tips on sounding more natural, like advice on your rhythm or how your voice goes up and down. AI chatbots. These are like talking to a computer person. You can ask them questions, tell them stories, or practice common talks. They answer, and you can practice your speaking and listening skills by talking back and forth. When you pick an AI tool, think about what you want to get better at the most. Is it saying words clearly? Is it making longer sentences? Or is it just feeling comfortable speaking in a talk? Look for tools that focus on what you need. The important thing is to use them often. Even a few minutes each day can make a big change. The 4-3-2 method. Getting smoother with practice. This method is a smart way to build confidence and make your speaking smoother. It's all about practicing something you want to say, but with a set number of times that helps you get better each time. What is the 4-3-2 method? The idea is simple. You pick something to say, like a short story, a description of your day, or an answer to a common question. Then, you practice saying it out loud. First, you say it 4 times. Then, you say it 3 times. Last, you say it 2 times. Why is this method very good? Each time you say what you want to say, you get a little bit better. The first time, you might be a bit nervous. The second time, you'll remember what you said and might feel more comfortable. By the third and fourth times, you'll likely be speaking more easily. When you move to saying it 3 times, you are building on that growing confidence. You already know the words and how it flows. The last 2 times are where you often see the biggest improvement. You've practiced enough that you can focus on sounding more natural, speaking more smoothly, and maybe even adding more feeling. The number of times going down makes it feel less like work and more like a quick, useful drill. It helps you stop being afraid of making mistakes because you're doing it in a planned, helpful way, and you see your own progress with each set. How do you use the 4-3-2 method? Let's say you want to practice talking about your favorite hobby. 1. Get ready. Think about what you want to say about your hobby. Write down a few main sentences or ideas. Keep it short, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. 2. Practice 4 times. Say your description out loud 4 times in a row. Don't worry too much about being perfect. Just say the words. 3. Practice 3 times. Now, say the same description 3 more times. You'll probably see you're speaking a bit more easily. 4. Practice 2 times. Finally, say it 2 more times. This is where you can really focus on sounding smooth and natural. You might find yourself speaking faster and with more confidence. You can use this method for anything you want to say, describing your job, talking about a recent trip, or even getting ready for a job interview. The main thing is to pick something you want to share and then repeat it using the 4-3-2 plan. Talking to yourself. The power of practicing alone. It might sound a little strange at first, but talking to yourself is one of the best and easiest ways to practice speaking English. What is talking to yourself? This means using English to describe what you are doing, what you see, or to answer questions in your head, all out loud. It's like having a talk, but you are both the speaker and the listener. Why is talking to yourself very useful? It's very easy to do. You don't need anyone else. No special apps, just yourself and the English language. It helps you think in English. Instead of changing words from your own language, you start forming thoughts directly in English. This practice also shows you where you are weak. When you try to describe something, you might realize you don't know the right word, or you have trouble making the sentence. This is good information that tells you what to work on next. It's a place where you can try new words and sentence ideas without being judged. How can you practice talking to yourself? You can do this anywhere, anytime. Here are some ideas. Describe your day. As you do things, say them out loud. Okay, now I am making coffee. I need to get the mug. I will put the coffee grounds in the filter. Describe what you see. Look around your room or outside your window. Describe what you see. The sky is blue today. There are some white clouds. A bird is flying by. Practice answering questions. Think of common questions people ask and answer them out loud. What did you do today? What are your plans for the weekend? Tell me about yourself. Summarize. After reading a story or watching a short video, try to explain it in your own words out loud. Pretend. Imagine you are in a shop, ordering food, or asking for directions. Practice the talk with yourself. The goal is to make speaking English a constant, normal part of your day. The more you use English to share your own thoughts and experiences, the more fluent and confident you will become. Now that you have a set of good ways to practice speaking, the next important step is to understand how to use them smoothly in your everyday life. The key is not just knowing what to do, but how to make it a regular habit that helps you get better. 3. Overcoming difficulties in speaking English. You know that feeling. You watch movies in English and get most of it. You read books and articles easily. But then, someone asks you a simple question and your mind goes blank. The words you know seem to disappear. Your tongue feels stuck and your stomach gets tight with worry. You understand, but you cannot speak. This happens to many people, and if you feel this way, you are not alone. This difference between understanding and speaking is a big problem for English learners. It's like knowing how to swim by watching, but being afraid to get in the water. You have the knowledge, but you haven't done it enough. Many think this means they are bad at languages or will never speak well. But that is not true. Your ability to understand is a great start. Speaking is just a different skill that needs its own kind of practice. Think about it. When you hear English, your ears and brain work to catch sounds, find words, and understand what they mean. When you read, your eyes look at words and your brain figures out the meaning. These are skills where you take things in. Speaking, however, is a skill where you make things. You have to think of what you want to say. Find the right words in your head. Put those words in the correct order grammar. Say the words clearly. Speak them out loud. often when someone is waiting for your answer. Each of these steps needs practice. When you don't practice them often, they feel hard and slow. Your brain is not used to doing them quickly and smoothly. It's like trying to run a race without training. You might know the way, but your body is not ready to go fast. A big reason for this problem is the fear of making mistakes. We worry about saying the wrong word, using bad grammar, or having an accent that others will notice. This fear is strong. It makes us pause. It makes us want to be quiet instead of sounding silly or wrong. But here's a secret. Mistakes are not bad. They are your best teachers. Every time you make a small mistake and learn why it was wrong, your brain learns. It's like a little sign saying, "Try this way next time." If you never make mistakes, it means you are not trying hard to speak. You are staying where it is easy, and that is where you stop getting better. The main idea of this book, and the most powerful thing you have, is speaking practice. This means using English out loud, often and regularly. It's not just knowing words. It's making sentences, sharing your thoughts, and telling others your ideas with your own voice. Many of us understand English well, but speaking is often the hard part. But good speaking practice, like listening and repeating, we will call this shadowing, using tools like AI for help, and doing exercises like the 4-3-2 method can help you. The most important thing is to do it every day. This is how you go from understanding to really using the language. Let me tell you about Maria. Maria loved English. She watched every American TV show she could and read books by her favorite writers. She could even write emails for her job in good English. But when her company had a meeting with people from other countries and she had to introduce herself and her team, her voice shook. She practiced her short talk for days, but when it was her turn, she tripped over words she knew very well. She felt very embarrassed. After the meeting, she was sad. She thought, "I understand English so well, why can't I just speak it?" Maria felt stuck. She was afraid to speak in meetings, afraid to join talks, and even a little afraid to talk to English-speaking visitors in her city. This fear made her miss chances to practice, which only made the gap between what she understood and what she could say bigger. She felt like she was standing outside a beautiful garden, able to see all the nice flowers, but unable to go inside. The problems Maria had are very common. Let's look at some of these specific issues. Finding the right words. Sometimes, you know a word exists, but you can't think of it when you need it. It's like having a big library in your head, but the way to find books is messy. You know the book is there, but you can't find it fast. This happens because our brains need to practice finding words quickly. Grammar mistakes. You might know the grammar rules, but when you are speaking, you might mix up times or forget to add an S to a word. This is normal. Our brains are trying to do many things at once when we speak. Pronunciation. Some English sounds might be hard for your mouth to make if they are not in your own language. Or, you might worry about your accent. A perfect accent is not needed to speak well, but clear pronunciation helps others understand you, and that makes you feel more sure of yourself. Speaking speed. You might feel like you talk too slowly or too fast, and you don't know how to find a good pace. This comes with practice, listening to how people who speak English naturally talk, and finding your own comfortable speed. Confidence. As we've said, this is a big one. The more you speak, the more sure of yourself you become. It's a circle. Practice makes you confident, and confidence makes you want to practice more. The way to get past these problems is not to stop trying, but to start practicing in smart, regular ways. The gap between understanding and speaking is real, but it is not a wall that stays forever. It's more like a river that needs a bridge. And that bridge is built with speaking practice. Every time you speak, you are making your mouth muscles stronger, teaching your brain to remember words faster, and learning how to put sentences together smoothly. Maria eventually found this book and started to see that her problems were not a sign that she was failing, but a sign that she was ready to learn a new skill. She learned that every time she felt nervous before speaking, it was actually a sign that she was about to learn something new and grow. She began to see her pauses not as weak spots, but as chances to learn. She realized that the more she practiced speaking, even in small ways, the less scary it would become. The path to speaking well is not about a magic trick. It's about trying regularly and using the right ways. It's about actively using the English language, not just taking it in. Every word you say, every sentence you make, is a step forward. Every time you try to share an idea, you are building that bridge across the river. So, if you feel that common frustration, that quiet moment when you want to speak, take a deep breath. Remember Maria. Remember that it's a common problem and it's a problem you can fix. What you understand is a great help. Now, it's time to open up your speaking ability. The way forward is through focused speaking practice. It's about letting your voice be heard, one word, one sentence, one talk at a time. This book is here to help you, step by step, through that process. We will look at exactly how to build that bridge, how to practice well, and how to get the confidence you deserve. 4. Importance of daily practice. Imagine learning to play a guitar. When you first hold it, your fingers feel awkward. You might press the strings too hard or not enough. The sounds might not be quite right. It takes time and practice. You don't just pick up the guitar once a month and expect to play a beautiful song. No, you practice a little bit every day. You play chords, you do finger exercises, you try to play simple songs. Slowly, your fingers get stronger. They know where to go without you thinking about it. Your brain starts to remember the patterns. This is called muscle memory. Your mouth and your brain work in a very similar way when you learn to speak English. When you first start speaking, it can feel a bit like those clumsy fingers. You might pause a lot. You might look for the right words. Your tongue might feel a little strange trying to make new sounds. This is totally normal. But just like with the guitar, the best way to make your mouth and brain feel comfortable with English is to practice every single day. When you practice speaking English every day, you are building the same kind of muscle memory for your mouth. Your tongue learns to move in new ways to make English sounds. Your brain learns to connect the words you know with the sounds you need to make. It starts to feel more natural. You don't have to think so hard about every single word. It becomes more automatic. This daily practice is like giving your speaking muscles a gentle workout each day. Over time, these muscles get stronger and more nimble. They are ready to speak English without you feeling like you are struggling. Many people understand English very well. They can read books, watch movies, and understand talks. But when it's their turn to speak, they freeze. They know the words, they know the grammar, but getting them out of their mouth feels like a huge wall. This is a very common problem, and it's where daily speaking practice becomes your best friend. Speaking practice is the bridge that connects what you know in your head to what you can do with your voice. Every time you speak, even if it's just for a few minutes, you are actively pulling words and sentences from your memory and using them. You are practicing the skill of finding things. It's like knowing where the books are in a library, but then actually having to walk to the shelf, pick up the book, and open it. Daily practice trains your brain to find those books of words and grammar much faster. It helps you get them off the shelf and into your spoken sentences more easily. This steady effort helps to shrink that gap between understanding and speaking, making the whole process feel less like a struggle and more like a natural flow. One of the biggest problems for many English learners is pausing and fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding silly, fear of not being understood. These fears can be very strong and can stop you from even trying to speak. But here's a wonderful secret: steady, daily practice is one of the most effective ways to break down these fears. When you practice speaking English every day, even if it's just by talking to yourself, you are creating many small, safe chances to speak. Think about it. If you only try to speak English once a week, that one time feels very important. The pressure is high. But if you speak a little bit every day, each speaking moment becomes less important, less scary. You get used to the feeling of speaking. You realize that making a mistake isn't the end of the world. Most people are kind and understand. Each small, daily success, no matter how tiny, builds your confidence. It's like taking small steps up a hill. Each step might be easy, but together they get you to the top. Daily practice helps you get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English, and that itself is a huge confidence booster. It makes you less anxious, making speaking feel less like a show and more like a conversation. Another powerful good thing about daily practice is how it helps you remember what you learn. When you learn a new English word or phrase and then you use it in a sentence that day, your brain makes a stronger link to that word. If you learn it and then don't use it for a week or two, your brain might forget it. Our brains are amazing, but they also like to keep things organized. They tend to hold on to things that are used often. Daily speaking practice makes sure that you are always looking at and using the English you are learning. This steady exposure and active use greatly improves your long-term memory. It's like watering a plant every day. It stays healthy and grows. If you only water it once a month, it will struggle. The same is true for your English knowledge. By speaking daily, you are giving your brain constant reminders of the words, phrases, and grammar rules, making them stick much better than if you only studied them from a book. You are making your learning stronger in a very active and good way. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Daily practice. That sounds like a lot of time. I'm too busy. But here's the really good part. Daily practice doesn't have to mean hours and hours every day. The power is in the steadiness, not always the length of time. Even 5 to 10 minutes of focused speaking practice each day can make a huge difference. Think about it this way: 10 minutes a day, 7 days a week, adds up to 70 minutes a week. That's over an hour of practice every single week. Over a month, that's about 4 hours. Over a year, that's nearly 50 hours of dedicated speaking practice. That might not sound like much compared to a full-time job, but for learning to speak a language, it's incredibly important. This is the power of small steps. By committing to just a few minutes each day, you make the goal of speaking fluently feel much more possible. You're not trying to climb a giant mountain in one go. You're taking steady, manageable steps that lead you surely towards your destination. This daily habit makes the journey less scary and much more rewarding. So, how does the brain actually learn to speak a language better with daily repetition? Well, our brains are incredibly able to change, especially when it comes to learning. When you speak English every day, you are giving your brain constant information and asking it to produce answers. This constant back and forth helps to build new pathways. Think of these pathways like roads in your brain. The more you use a certain route, the wider and smoother that road becomes. When you speak English daily, you are constantly using the roads for English sounds, words, and sentence structures. This makes them easier and faster to travel on. Also, daily practice helps your brain become better at finding information. When you try to speak, your brain needs to find words, grammar rules, and pronunciation information. If you practice this finding daily, your brain gets better and faster at finding what it needs. It's like practicing finding a specific book in a library. The more you do it, the quicker you can find it. This daily repetition also helps to make the process automatic. At first, you might consciously think about every word and grammar point. But with daily practice, these processes become automatic. Your brain starts to handle them without you thinking, freeing up your conscious mind to focus on what you want to say. This is how fluency develops, from conscious effort to unconscious skill. Now, let's talk about those mental barriers. The fear of making mistakes is a big one. We worry about being judged. We worry about sounding silly. These worries are very real for many learners. But daily speaking practice acts like a gentle cure for this fear. When you speak a little bit every day, you are constantly putting yourself in a situation where you might make a mistake in a safe environment. You learn that mistakes happen and they are not terrible. You might say the wrong word or use the wrong grammar, but then you fix it or someone gently fixes it for you, and you learn from it. This repeated experience of making small errors and getting past them builds strength. It teaches you that your value as a communicator isn't tied to being perfect. It's about trying to connect. Over time, the fear of making a mistake starts to fade because you've experienced it so many times in small amounts and been okay. You begin to see mistakes not as failures, but as chances to learn. This change in how you see things, helped by steady daily practice, is very important for building real confidence. You start to feel more comfortable taking chances with your language, which is needed for progress. The power of small steps is something we can't say enough about. It's the main part of making this journey feel manageable. Imagine you want to run a marathon. You wouldn't try to run 26 miles on your first day. You would start with short runs, slowly increasing the distance. Daily speaking practice is the same. It's about building a habit, one small, steady step at a time. Even if your daily practice involves just repeating a few sentences from a podcast or describing your day to yourself in English or practicing a few new words out loud, these actions are building blocks. These small, daily efforts add up. They create movement, and movement is a powerful force in learning. You start to see progress, however small, and this progress makes you want to continue. It makes the bigger goal of speaking fluently feel less like a far-off dream and more like a real, possible thing. The key is to make it a routine, like brushing your teeth. Something you do without even thinking too much about it because it's become a normal part of your day. This steady, daily involvement is what truly changes knowledge you have into speaking ability that is active and confident. So we've seen that the magic isn't in what you practice, but in the strong promise to practice daily. It's like taking care of a garden. You can't just plant seeds and expect food. You need to water them, give them sunlight, and pull weeds around them regularly. Daily speaking practice is that regular care for your English fluency. It builds muscle memory, connects knowing and doing, breaks down fear, makes learning stronger, and makes the journey feel possible through small, steady steps. Now that we understand the why, let's look at the how, exploring the best ways that make this daily commitment incredibly powerful. Conclusion: you have come to the end of our time together, and I am very happy with you for getting this far. For many of you, speaking English well might have seemed very far away, like a language you understood in your mind, but found hard to say out loud. It can make you feel bad, right? To have many things to say, but the words get stuck. We have spent this time looking at why this happens and, more importantly, how to get past this problem. The path we have followed has shown us that the key is not just knowing more words, but using them a lot. It is about changing what you know into what you do by always practicing speaking. The most important idea we have looked at, the key to your success, is this: the best way to become good at speaking English is not a secret trick, but a steady, daily promise to practice speaking. Every day, even for a short time, makes a big change. We have seen good ways like repeating sounds after someone, using smart computer help, and using a method called 4-3-2. These are not just things to do. They are your daily talks to become good at speaking, your steady speaking practice times. They teach your mouth to make sounds, your brain to think in English, and your bravery to grow with every word you say. Why is this so important? Because speaking English well opens up many doors. Think about leading meetings with confidence, sharing your ideas without stopping, and finding new jobs. Think about talking better with friends, understanding movies and music without reading words, and seeing the world more easily. Most of all, it is about feeling much more sure of yourself. Speaking English well means feeling more able, more connected, and more alive in a world where many people speak English. Every moment you practice speaking is a step towards these great things. The confidence you build comes not from knowing more words, but from being brave enough to use them by practicing. Speaking often. Now, this book has given you the knowledge and the ways to do it. But the real magic happens when you start doing it. You are not just someone who listens, you are an active part of your own English journey. There will be days when it feels hard, when you make mistakes. That is normal. Every mistake is a chance to learn, a chance to make your speaking practice better. Your promise to practice speaking, your wish to try and try again, is what will finally help you speak English. Well, be proud of your progress. Be happy about your small wins in speaking practice. So, what is next? The answer is simple, but it means a lot. Keep practicing speaking every single day. Pick a special time each day, even if it is only 10 to 15 minutes. Choose 1 or 2 ways you liked or found most helpful from the book. For example, you might decide, today I will copy this part of a show, and tomorrow I will practice telling myself about my day using the computer help. Set small, easy goals for each practice time. Do not be afraid to try different ways. See what keeps you interested and wanting to do it. Look for chances to speak English during your day. Talk about what you are doing, think in English, even practice asking for your coffee in English. This planned way of practicing speaking will build speed. Your daily speaking practice is your path. Make speaking practice something you must do. You have the tools, you have the plans, and now you have the promise. Becoming good at speaking English is something you can do. Imagine yourself speaking with confidence, talking to people from all over the world, and doing all that you can. This is possible. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and watch your English get better. Your promise to practice speaking is your special power. Go and speak.